It's me, Queenie. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Self Love Lessons Read Along. I'm super excited to have you join me today. Let me turn this music down just a bit. I'm super excited today. This is one of my favorite parts of the book, so I can't wait to get into it. While I am getting going, come on in. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know that you are present and accounted for. Now would be a good time to share this with your friends. Let them know that we are about to get going with the reading. And let's go ahead and get it started. I am your host, Queenie Brown, transformational keynote speaker, women's empowerment author of the Self Love Lessons and of the Mother Daughter Journal. And I'm also a certified master life and business coach. And I help women heal their hearts and men too, but primarily my clientele are women. So I'm super excited to get into today's reading. It is going to be so good. But let's just give a quick recap over the last couple of days. We are now on day 4, and we're reading from the book, The Self-Love Lessons. Let me see if I have an image that I can share with you. We're reading from the Self-Love Lessons, 7 lessons every woman must learn about herself and the power of womanhood. I published this book back in 2011, and it has been a chronicling of my journey through heart healing, of my journey through infertility, and my manifested miracles. So today we're going to get started and read about my girlfriend Kate. And oh my goodness, what a day did she have! I'm going to share this story. God gave this to me. He told me to include this because it's going to give you insight into the actual journey and what it looks like, all the way from the pain to the power. So let me see. So if you're here joining us, roll call is starting now. Go ahead and put present in the comments as we're going along. If you see something that stands out for you, definitely enter it into the comments so that we can all enjoy that nugget of wisdom. Let me see. If you're watching from the replay, make sure you give me a hashtag replay so that I can see that you're joining me. If you make it all the way to the end of the video, make sure you include hashtag finished so that I know that doing that. Uh-oh. The reason we're doing that is because throughout this journey, I'm going to be offering prizes to those of you who stick with it. It's a powerful, powerful journey, and it's going to be very insightful. So I can't wait to see how it impacts your life. All right, let's see. Anything else that I want to include? We're going to go for about 15 minutes today. I'm going to make sure that I go as far as I can in the story because you're really going to be blessed by it. Let me think. Okay, so we're going to make comments. You're going to chat back at me. If there's anything that pops up, you're going to let me know in the comments so that I can see that you're rolling with me throughout this process. And if all hearts and minds are clear, let's get it going. So we're going to begin today's reading on page 15. This is part 1 of the self-love lessons. We completed the introduction in the past couple of days. If you missed that, go back and catch it because it goes into detail as to why we're doing this and why it's impactful for your journey in particular. And yeah, so let's just get it going. Part 1. Oh, the drama. A short story. A day in the life of my girlfriend Kate. I'd like to share a short story with you about my dear friend Kate. Her experience will give you a peek into the progression through the journey towards self love. Let's take a look at a day in the life of Kate. Kate's a very sweet woman who always takes care of everyone around her. In addition to her husband and 3 young children, Kate cares for her aging family members, cooks for everyone, never forgets a birthday, and always makes time for everyone who needs her. As a result, she's on top of everyone's "can you do this for me?" list. She makes time for all of her kids' activities, play dates, and countless birthday parties. She's also her husband's only support in his newly started business. Needless to say, Kate feels pulled in multiple directions and rarely makes any time for herself. I often hear Kate say, "Queenie, nobody understands. There's just too much that needs to be done, and nobody's willing to pull their own weight. I have no choice but to pick up the slack, and if it costs me, it just costs me." For years, I've watched Kate continue to please everyone in her world until one day she started to have headaches. She tried to ignore the headaches until they prevented her from sleeping. She called me one day, exasperated and in tears, saying, on top of everything else, now I can't even get a good night's rest. She says to herself, this is just too much. Kate didn't tell anyone else about the headaches. She just pushed through and continued her normal chaotic routine. I never understood why, but Kate refused to ask her husband for help. Excuse me. Instead, she would say to me, he sees me working all the time. I never get to bed before midnight, and he should just find it in his heart to help me. I shouldn't have to ask. He should just know. I told her that she was a victim because she chose to be. Of course, she would get angry with me and the conversation would end, or she would find a reason to hang up the phone. Then one morning before work, Kate and her husband Tony got into an argument about money. He asked her to cut back on her spending. Uh oh. He asked her to cut back on her spending so that they could get back on track financially. She agreed, but inside she was livid. She called me on her drive to work, absolutely furious, and unloaded all of her anger onto me. I listened as usual, and then I said to her, Kate, you didn't tell the truth. You didn't stand up for yourself. You have every right to feel the way that you do. So just tell me, what are you really angry about? Queenie, you just don't get it. I'm upset because I can't remember the last time I bought something for myself. Every penny that I spend is for the needs of my family. I don't buy clothes or makeup for myself. My shoes need to be repaired. My bras are a joke. And now he's getting on me for frivolous spending. Are you kidding me? I asked, Kate, did you talk to him? Did you tell him how you feel? He doesn't want to hear that. He just wants me to cooperate. He continuously harps about our family goals and saving money. It just makes me furious. I want to scream, she snarled. Oh, I interrupted. So, Kate, instead of telling him this and maybe asking that he acknowledge your sacrifice, you bit your lip, you said nothing, and you agreed to cut back and help him meet your financial goals without even a peep? Is that what you're telling me, Kate? As usual, I had to tell her the truth. Kate, you're angry because you didn't get credit for neglecting yourself. He should notice that that your clothes are old and that your bras are tearing apart. You don't wear makeup because you ran out and you're busy taking care of everyone else. You've not made the time to replace it. And now that he's asking you to cut back, you're mad at him? You know you're my girl and you know how I roll. So I have to tell you the truth, Kate. You're not mad at Tony. You're mad at you. You've allowed yourself to become totally depleted, Kate. You can't blame Tony because you're neglected. You're the only one who can change that, and it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. It'll only cost you a little self-love and some time for yourself. You got to do that for you, Kate. Everything in your world is screaming out, there's nothing left to give. When are you going to listen? I paused and waited for her to respond. She was silent, and I knew what that meant. She didn't want to hear it. She wanted me to finish so she could get off the phone. I had come to expect that from her, and it was okay. Before we hung up, though, I reminded her, you know, Kate, there's a reason I'm in your life. I've been where you are, and I know exactly how you feel. It really is time that you learn how to love you. You got to learn from, you got to learn to be better. You got to learn to be a better friend to my friend. Next January, I'm launching the Self-Love Boot Camp. You know you have an open invitation, and I really think it'll help you. You've never made time to participate in any of my self-love events, and perhaps the time wasn't right. We're having this conversation for a reason, Kate. I really do think you should join us. Annoyed, Kate responded, Queenie, I don't even have an interest in going there right now. I just feel like I need to get away and rest. Then I'll be okay. I'm just tired and it's making me frustrated. I know you love me, but trust me, I'll be okay. All right, Kate. When you're ready, we'll be here. In case you change your mind, we're always on Facebook. You can come to my page and don't forget to like it to get updates. Facebook.com/The Queenie Brown. The website for the boot camp is it's www.selflovebootcamp.com. You can sign up there or just call me and let me know that you'll be joining us. I'll be praying for you. Have a blessed day, sweetie. With that, we hung up. After arriving to work late because of her morning discussion with Tony, Her come to Jesus conversation with me, Kate learned that she had missed a very important deadline at work. She knew that her boss would be very disappointed. She couldn't believe she had forgotten. Kate raced through her memories to recall what she had done that caused the deadline to slip her mind. Oh, she said, it was because I helped Dina in accounting. Dina needed to reproduce a report for her boss's trip. She asked for my help and I just couldn't say no. Kate asked herself, why do I keep doing this? She was shocked when she heard her name over the loudspeaker. Kate Pilar, please report to Mr. Campbell's office. Kate said under her breath, oh my goodness, what am I going to say to Mr. Campbell? After her reprimand, she was even more frustrated. She gasped, why did I let this happen? She continued to beat herself up in her thoughts. What was I thinking? Thanks to that's the thanks I get for helping someone out. If I had just done what I needed to do instead of helping Dina, I wouldn't have forgotten about my deadline. Oh, I just can't win. Later that day, Kate received an emergency call from the elementary school. She learned that her son Bobby was involved in a fight, and she was asked to come pick him up immediately. Now, Kate was furious. She called her husband Tony to see if he could leave work. Considering the reprimand that she just received, Kate didn't want to leave the office. Tony was in a meeting and couldn't come to the phone. Kate took a deep breath, forced her anger deep inside, then grabbed her purse and keys and went to pick up her son. Her mind raced. Next, she had to find a sitter at the last minute so she could return to work. She knew that that would cost even more money. Kate thought, I have to do what I have to do. Bobby's going to a sitter. She called the sitter and just as Kate expected, the sitter was unavailable. Now what am I going to do? She thought. At the school, Kate listened to the principal as he explained to her why Bobby was fighting. Apparently, Bobby got angry and refused to cooperate with his teacher. Then one of the students made a joke about him, and all the kids began to laugh. In his anger, Bobby punched the kid in the face. As Kate listened to Bobby's principal, it was all she could do to fight back the tears. And through her quivering voice, she managed to say, Mr. Daniels, I understand that you want Bobby to go home this afternoon, but can Bobby please return to school tomorrow? Mr. Daniels replied, Mrs. Pilar, I'm sorry, but Bobby can't return to school until Monday. And further, he must find a better way to deal with his feelings, his uncontrollable anger. He paused and then said, Mrs. Pilar, have you ever thought about getting him professional help? Kate couldn't even comment. All she could do was sigh as she shook her head no. As she left the principal's office, she couldn't even speak to Bobby. Kate walked swiftly to the car as Bobby trotted behind trying to keep up. She jumped into the car and immediately called her sister Karen. Kate hoped that since Karen had a flexible work schedule, she could take care of Bobby. If Karen could take care of Bobby, then Kate could return to work. As soon as she picked up the phone, Kate began to tell Karen what happened. Karen was still asleep and refused to even listen to what Kate had to say. She interrupted Kate by shouting, Kate, I'm asleep. I'll call you later. And then she hung up the phone. Kate was at her wits' end. She couldn't hold back the tears any longer. She was seething inside. She just wanted to scream, cry, and run away as fast as she could. She wanted the ride that she called life to stop so she could get off. On the way home, she tried not to blow up on her son. She knew that she needed a good cry, but she had to hold it together. Instead, she quietly wiped the tears that were pouring down her face. Kate called back to her office and through her crackling voice, she asked for her boss for the afternoon off. Her thoughts raced. This is everyone else's fault, and I have to pay for it. It's just not fair. I don't deserve this, she thought. Kate felt like a victim in her own life, and she was completely spent. She couldn't imagine what else could possibly go wrong. She realized that she had to find a way to punish her son for letting his anger get the best of him at school. All of a sudden, she had a great idea. She decided to stop by the bookstore and grab the most boring book that she could find. While he was at home from school, Kate would force Bobby to read a book and write a 3-page paper on it. That wasn't a bad idea at all, she thought. So while she searched through the bookstore, she passed a display of new Bibles. The one that caught her eye had both the King James and the amplified versions all in one. Cheryl, her friend, had recommended this amplified version, and Kate immediately thought, I need this for me. I know that Tony put me on a budget, but after the day I've had, this is all that will keep everyone in the house from getting hurt. She grabbed the Bible and took the book and headed towards the checkout counter. While waiting in line, she saw the most adorable journal. It was so perfect with a beautiful butterfly on the cover. If I had a journal, she thought, I'd want it to look just like that. Then she reflected. It's been such a long time since I've written in a journal. Goodness, I was in my senior year in high school, she continued to reminisce. Wow, back then my journal was my best friend, my most trusted confidant. She paused in thought. I remember rushing home to tell my journal all the details of what happened each day. I would tell her how I felt, when I was hurt, when I was sad, even when I was happy or worried, or afraid, or even when I thought I was in love. Boy, every emotion I ever felt I shared with my journal. But what happened? Why'd I stop? She wondered. It didn't matter. Kate remembered how much peace she would feel after processing each day's emotions. She thought to herself, there's something so liberating about being open and able to learn from and grow from each day. Without even thinking twice, she grabbed the journal, the Bible, and the book of torture for Bobby and walked up to the next available register. Back home, Kate sent Bobby to his room with his new book and made her way into the kitchen. She decided to begin making dinner and hopefully take her mind off the drama of the day's events. She tried to think positive, but instead she couldn't help but replay every aspect of what happened today over and over in her mind. Her thoughts raced. She thought about what she could have done, why she's always the one hurt, and why she always feels so guilty when she doesn't step in to help someone in need. She wondered why no one else seems to share in her guilt. She wondered why she was reprimanded at work. Her boss knows how hard she tries to please him, and everyone else for that matter. As she continued to replay the day's events over and over in her mind, she noticed that she was talking to herself angrily out loud. It's all my fault, she said. I should have known better by now. No one's ever going to think about me but me. No one is ever going to protect me, and no one will ever have my back except me. So the next time somebody needs something else from me, that's just too damn bad. They'll have to fend for themselves, and I won't even feel bad about it. Her initial rant had turned outward. Internal rant that had turned outward was interrupted by a telephone call. It was Karen, her sister, finally getting back to her from her nap. Kate answered the phone and snapped at Karen by saying, Yeah, I hope you feel rested. Karen, who is no stranger to attitude, snapped back by saying, Who do you think you're talking to? Don't start with me, Kate. I don't have time for this. I'm only calling you back because I said I would. But whatever you needed, figure it out without me. Karen sneered as she continued, It's not my fault that your life has fallen apart. You need to get it together and don't call me until you do. Karen slammed the phone down and Kate was just stunned. She couldn't believe it. Kate exploded. She's rejecting me? Kate yelled. Wait a minute. I was the one who was going to reject her. I was the one who had every right to be angry, and she's turned it around and made it all my fault again. Oh my God, I can't take anymore. No more. No more. By that time, Kate was sobbing. Karen, with just those few words, had ripped her apart. Kate's head pounded, her heart raced, and she went into the bathroom to collect herself. Before Kate knew it, the fire alarm in the kitchen began to screech. She ran into the kitchen to find that her dinner was burned, ruined. She called her husband and, still sobbing, asked him to pick up dinner on the way home. Then she ran into her room, collapsed on her bed in tears. No more, God. Help me, God. I just can't take it anymore. I have nothing left, she sobbed. I try to make sure everyone else's needs are met and nobody cares about me. And now it's affecting my health. I just can't take it anymore. Kate cried out, No more. Help me, Lord, please. When she awoke, her husband was in the kitchen preparing plates for their 3 kids. Everyone in the house knew that something was very, very wrong with Kate. In an effort not to upset her any further, they all walked on eggshells. Her husband had never seen her so upset. Bobby told them all what had happened and how she had been acting since the meeting with the principal. They all knew she had reached a point of no return. So that's where we're going to stop today. What a day. Oh my goodness, I can't wait till tomorrow. You guys are going to absolutely love how this unfolds. I'm so excited you're on this journey with me. So, if you have any thoughts, feedback, comments, let me know. Let me know. I want to know how this is, how you're rolling with it, and how it's going for you. I'm super excited that you're joining me today. Let me see. Make sure that you go to www.queeniebrown.com to download a copy of the book. I'm Queenie. I'm super, super excited you're joining me. And again, we're gonna go to the Mother Love community to chat a little bit about this and get a little meat off the bone. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them. And other than that, share, like, make sure you start from the beginning, listen to the whole story. It's going to matter for the next session so that you know where we are and know where she's been. All right. I think that's everything. God bless. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, bright and early. I'm gonna do better. Thanks. Take good care. Bye bye.